It's Katrina with Happy Healing Channel. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make some no-bake cookies. Basically, you could use walnuts, almonds, pecans, whatever kind of nut that you feel is safest for you. If you're trying to follow the AIP diet or any kind of diet, just make sure that you Cocoa pulse test them to make sure that you don't have some kind of allergy to this nut. And I'll link that below to explain what the Cocoa pulse test is if you haven't heard of that already. All right, so here we go. There's an easier recipe I like adding to my recipes. I'm very bad at following recipes. So basically, if you want to do the easier version of this, it's basically 1 cup. I'm baking banana chips. That's why they went off. These are definitely no bake, so I didn't preheat the oven. Anyway, all right, so you would normally do 1 cup of walnuts and like a half a teaspoon of salt or less than that. And then you would do half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you would do a half a cup of coconut chips. So a whole cup of nuts and a half a cup of coconut chips. For me, I'm going to basically modify it. I'm going to add a cup of almonds, half a cup of coconut chips, salt to taste because these already have sea salt in them. For texture, I might add a little caramel powder just to give me a little bit of chocolate since I can't have chocolate on the AIP diet. I'm going to add some coconut protein to give me some extra fiber and some extra protein. So I'm using the Manuka honey instead of regular raw honey just because it's better for AIP. This is what I have, and here's the nutrition facts if you need those. This is very expensive, no fun. But yeah, for the other recipe, I did forget to mention, so you would do the salt, the honey, regular honey's fine, extract, the nuts, and the coconut chips. But for me, I'm basically adding in a modified nut and then the powders, and then I'll just have to be careful with making sure that everything kind of sticks together well. And then I'll put them in the freezer for 30 minutes. All right, so I'll show you how I'll blend it all together. I had to pause it and do some stuff. So I actually added some cinnamon and some coconut protein to my little banana chips. Fun fact. All right, and now back to we'll leave this commercial. This coconut protein I actually got for I think like $11 at Walmart. It's pretty expensive. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save all the trouble of watching all these little tidbits. So this is a whole cup of almonds. I actually blanched these almonds a couple nights ago, and then I finally got to making the recipe now. I will put in the link below how I blanched and sprouted and soaked these almonds in the comments below. Okay, and that's a half a cup of coconut chips. So I added in all of these to taste, all of these 4 items here. And then for the Manuka honey right here, we're definitely going to have to add in like a bit. Sorry. We're definitely going to have to add in a good bit to make sure that it stays together. So, alright, I'm going to try that. So I added in a decent bit of honey, and now I'm going to go ahead and blend it in this little thing here, and we'll see how the texture and the taste is from there, and add as needed. It's taking a little bit of time to get all this looking better and chopped up. I did add a little bit more honey in, so we'll see how that turns out. I may need to add a little more flour too to make it not so nutty. Yep. By flour, I meant this coconut protein flour type substance, not all of these beautiful flour collections I have, which I will do a video about all of that later if anyone is interested in AIP flours. Alright, that's a nice little commercial there again, and we'll see how this turns out in a little bit. Some stirring action. Still stirring. It's taking a while with all these nuts. Looking a little better on the inside. Still got a couple like globs of nuts. Here's another commercial while we take a break. So anyone who's wondering what carob powder, it looks like this. It looks like some fancy Nestle, you know, childhood cocoa powder. Tastes a little different, maybe not as sugary, not as, you know, stuff like that. This coconut protein. Anyone who's curious what that looks like, basically just a powder. Consistency, it's like that. Yep. All right, and back to this. Another side commercial. I do not recommend adding coconut protein in the middle of cooking these. So yeah, either add it like before or just don't add it at all. So this is about as good as it's gonna get. Most times the almonds don't break up very well. That's why I think walnuts are in the primary recipe, which I added in here. So it may work best for y'all just to follow the recipe strictly, don't modify it, or leniently sway away from the recipe. The second time I made this recipe, I swayed away from it and I added like a mixture of walnuts and almonds that helped. This is about the texture of the balls I got so far. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this almond butter, maybe a little bit more carob to flavor. This will hopefully give it a better texture, and then the carob will just taste better instead of having a really strong almond coconut flavor. So some almond butters have this kind of film on the top, oil. Some don't, it just depends. So I'm gonna add this. Just adding in that amount of almond oil or almond butter, almost like maybe a tablespoon, heaping tablespoon of it, made it look, you know, a lot more mushier and binding. So this is the texture we want. Oh yeah, that almond butter helped a lot better. So you can make them flat if you want, or you can make them into balls if you want. Super easy now. All right, and now I'm gonna put in the freezer and wait for 30 minutes, and then they're ready to be ate. And yeah, I still have some more to make. So this made about, I mean, if you think about it, maybe made like 10. So the recipe that I added in here, I think hers, I thought she said upwards of like 30, but maybe I'm incorrect with that. So yeah, I hope y'all like this recipe. It was a struggle, but it was fun, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Bye.